Hi.
Hey, you ready?
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, this is a new one. New episode of Caffeine Not Included. I don't know what episode number. We don't keep track. We're busy people, but not too busy that we didn't catch Game of Thrones. How could you miss it? The entire social stratosphere was Game of Thrones.
Everybody was talking about it.
Yeah, for like 3 days. So if you don't watch, you're probably like, enough with the dragons and the this and the that. This video's not for you. But if you do watch, let's get into it.
Let's talk about it. Okay, seriously, after waiting 2 years for Game of Thrones, I was hyped to get back into it. But at the same time, I had this feeling where it had been gone for so long, where I just was like, I was trying to convince myself that this show really wasn't that good. But after watching the first episode, I felt myself being dragged back into the story a little bit more.
Did you have to brush up? Did you go back and watch?
I did. Yeah. I definitely went back and watched more of a recap right before I watched. Because, you know, you forget like little things that had happened, especially after 2 years, for crying out loud. I'm watching too many other shows, Daryl.
Sorry. You watch. You keep up. So basically, it opens with all the troops coming into Winterfell. You see Jon Snow. There's the Queen, Daenerys. They're all coming back to Winterfell. And it's been 2 years, so we're like, get to it. Get to
the action.
They definitely did a lot with the length of the episode. I didn't love it like he did. I thought it was a little sloppy. I thought a lot of the jokes were corny.
I definitely agree. There were some corny parts in it for sure.
I wanted everything to make sense, and maybe I'm just critical now because I've had 2 years to think about it. But for example, when the dragons are first coming into the scene, no one's seen dragons in 1,000 years, and the people are like, dragon. Oh.
Well, no, the people didn't.
You would lose your mind if you saw dragons for the first time.
Nobody freaked out at all when they saw the dragons. They were just like, oh, like dragons. Oh, cool. And that's the thing too, where I feel like, if you saw a dragon for the first time, I'd be getting in my little hut.
I don't know. So that drove me crazy. And then so now you're seeing Jon Snow return, and his siblings are like, you would think they'd be like, first of all, thank God you're alive, because, you know, we live in a time where there's dragons.
And
so
she literally left to go find the mother of dragons.
He said, I'm going to come back with an army so that we don't all die. And they're all like, you go, Jon Snow. And so he left to go, and he comes back with the army and dragons, and they're like,
everything, and they're like pissed.
What's up, bro?
What's up? Well, who's king? You are not king anymore.
You're not king anymore?
You bent the knee.
You're not king.
What's wrong? We're not. Who's the leader?
I didn't like
here?
that. So both the siblings were
strange.
like, oh, so apparently you don't want to be king. And he's like, I fucking never wanted to be king. I told everybody I didn't want to be king. They're like, but we made you king. And he's like, but now we have a queen, and she's got dragons. So just shut up. You're embarrassing me in front of the queen. So that whole thing happens, but there's a lot of weird jokes in the middle.
Yeah, there's a lot of awkwardness.
There's a big one on Twitter that you probably saw where Cersei is sitting on her throne, right? And the guy comes in and he's like, so I brought you all these boats and I brought you all these people, and while I didn't bring you elephants, I want to smash. Like, he's basically telling her, like, I want to smash. And she's like, what'd she say?
She was like, if you want a whore, buy one. But if you want a queen, earn her.
Now pause right there. Twitter was like, yes! That's powerful! Except for the fact that she had sex with him like 7 minutes after she said
it wasn't even 7 minutes.
It was like 2 minutes.
She walked to the door, and then she was like, looked back and was like, are you coming? And then he was like,
and then you see him getting his little pirate shirt back on after, and he's like, I put a baby in there, because he doesn't know that she's already pregnant from her brother. Pregnant. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's
really a lot to keep up with. Our camera guy's like, great, now I can never watch it because you guys ruined half of it. So, again, everything is fine. I'm enjoying it. And then this is where I lost it, okay? There's a scene where Jon Snow is hanging out with his new girlfriend, who's also his aunt. Forget that part. And she's like, you want to go for a ride on dragons? And he's like, I don't know. Dude's been like killed. He's been brought back to life. And he's like, I've never ridden on a dragon before. And she's like, don't worry. And so now they take off on the dragons. And I swear I was waiting for a whole new world to start playing. I was like, this is it. This is the romantic scene where they're flying dragons around. Forget the end of the world. They're on a date.
But here's the deal, too, though. Everyone got to see that Jon rode the dragon, so he's got some kind of interesting connection there. Do you think that Daenerys knows that he might have some Targaryen in him?
So she's like, let me see how he flies a dragon?
Because, like, Targaryens are really the only ones who are supposed to be able to fly dragons, unless... I mean, there's been some half Targaryens and some other weird stuff that can fly, but...
I think they wanted to show them on a date. But if that's the case, I'm okay with that. Tyrion, there's talk that Tyrion might be also one of the Dragon Riders.
Yeah, that rumor's been flying around for a while that he potentially could be have some dragon blood in him. But
well, now we're one more episode down. The ending is near. We still don't really know what's going to happen because it ended with Jaime Lannister showing up and
by himself though, without the troops.
He
of course,
takes off his disguise, and then Bran's sitting there, and you're like, uh-oh.
Here's the thing, Bran actually has become kind of cool. Like, he knows everything that's going on. He's like, oh, I'm just waiting for an old friend.
But again, another corny joke. Like,
it is.
It was the episode of corny jokes. I wasn't into it. And furthermore, the one thing we're waiting to happen is Sam to finally tell Jon Snow, you're not a bastard. So that whole scene happens. And
what did you think of that scene, though? Did you think it was handled appropriately, or did you feel like it was not done? Or did you,
if that ever comes up in our friendship, I'm going to blurt that out to you.
You're going to tell me immediately.
I'm not going to soften it. I'm going to be like,
hiding
oh my God, you are the king.
Well, that's what I don't understand is why he didn't immediately go in and tell him. Are there any dangers or any repercussions from him knowing that information that could keep them from? They're already screwed.
Complicates the rest of the storyline. We're going to find out what happens next week. Did you guys like it? Did you think it was a perfect welcome back after 2 years? I said, not my favorite episode all time, but I'm happy that they're back.
I was fired up that it came back. I do think there were too many corny jokes, but I did really enjoy the episode, and thank God that something is back on that is captured my interest. And I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Winter is here.
Winter is definitely here. It's already at Winterfell, and the White Walkers are coming. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to our channel. And check us out next time for more videos just like this.
Sort of.